On this day in 1943, the Tehrān Conference opened, marking the first meeting of the Allied Big Three. US President Franklin D. Roosevelt, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, and Soviet Premier Joseph Stalin. Held in the Iranian capital, this historic gathering would shape the course of World War II and the post-war world order. The conference ran from November 28th to December 1st, 1943, in the Soviet embassy in Tehran. The location was symbolic, emphasizing the necessity of a unified front among the Allies despite their differing ideologies and objectives. The primary goal to coordinate military efforts against the Axis powers and decide the strategic direction of the war. One pressing issue was Stalin's demand for a second front in Western Europe. The Soviet Union had borne the brunt of the German war machine on the Eastern Front, suffering immense casualties and destruction. Stalin insisted on an Allied invasion of Nazi-occupied France to relieve pressure on Soviet forces. After lengthy discussions, Roosevelt and Churchill committed to launching Operation Overlord, the invasion of France, in May 1944. This decision set the stage for the historic D-Day landings in Normandy. Beyond military strategy, the conference tackled other critical issues. They discussed the post-war division of Germany, the future of Eastern Europe, and support for China's resistance against Japan. Churchill proposed a Balkan campaign to strike at Germany through southern Europe, but this was overruled in favor of focusing resources on Overlord. Meanwhile, Stalin pledged that the Soviet Union would join the war against Japan after Germany's defeat. Despite their cooperation, tensions between the leaders were evident. Stalin pressed his Western counterparts for territorial assurances in Eastern Europe. Roosevelt sought to maintain unity, while Churchill voiced concerns about Soviet expansionism. These discussions would lay the groundwork for the geopolitical landscape of the Cold War, even as the Allies worked together to defeat their common enemy. The Tehrān Conference concluded with an affirmation of Allied unity and the promise of decisive action. It marked a turning point in the war, setting the stage for the liberation of Western Europe and the eventual Allied victory. Yet it also foreshadowed the ideological and territorial disputes that would shape the post-war years. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fascinating stories from our past. Until next time, stay curious.